controversy. 21 Savage has been on every popular person streaming, Twitch, YouTube, podcast. I guess he was on, Club Room. What's it called?
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, yeah. And he made a comment that Nas is irrelevant. And he just has like super loyal fans. And everyone lost their fucking mind. Like people who don't even like listen to modern day hip hop lost their mind as well. And then this is an conversation to Nas is dropping a great body of work last week, King Disease 3, every track produced by Hit-Boy. I think you and I both agreed, texting that we both love the body of work, but it came out when Nas' sales were released that he sold 25,000 copies. And in most people's mind frame, you sell 25,000 copies your first week, you're irrelevant to a certain extent. So I guess your thoughts on the comments and like, do you agree or disagree with that overall perspective?
Yeah, I think talking about relevance is a tricky thing because music is so subjective, and Nas might be the most relevant person to somebody in, let's say, the Bronx or Queens, but some hood in Atlanta might not give a fuck about anything Nas is doing. So that's one thing. But if we're talking on like a broader spectrum, like within the industry, I would say Nas is still relevant. I would much have preferred if 21 Savage, like if he was asked the question, just said, I'm more relevant than Nas currently. Because I think when people say people try to equate relevance to like the legacy and catalog and everything. And we all know Nas's impact on the culture.
Floor,
yeah. Like it's not even a question. So, but I think Nas fans hear that and think, oh, your music's better than anything Nas has done, and you're like gonna be hot just as long and everything. And that's when I went and looked back. I'm like, 21 Savage is only, 5 years in hip hop is a long ass time, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to Nas and Jay-Z,
Nas is going literally on 30 summers, bro. That's fucking insane.
So for me, I'm just like, 21 Savage is more relevant than Nas currently, like within the mainstream conversation. But that doesn't mean anything to me as far as like overall impact and legacy. Like DaBaby was the most relevant fucking thing in 2019, and now like apparently he's
buy one get one tickets.
Yeah, buy one get one tickets and not able to sell out shows. And that's not to knock him. And he did some things that also contributed to it, but
a lot of things.
Yeah. A lot of things. I know people kind of pressed him too here and there, but in any case, it sounds like 21 apologized, which, he should have, or not even necessarily apologized, but addressed it. Clarified it, provided context. But I could see how some people would be disrespected just because Nas's content is vastly different from 21 Savage's, and no one wants to see the negative aspect of hip hop kind of override his conscious message and everything.
Yeah, dude, that's probably why. Yeah, you're right. And I think when you say no one, probably especially like the OGs and the OG fan base, right? Like they like, no, hip hop is sacred, and he's talking about, like you said, like educating young men and like making sure beef stops and everyone's cool. And then 21, he's talking about putting fucking money on your head and you're fucking done by the weekend. So, I do think 21 was proven correct though. Like, Nas is irrelevant in the main scheme of today's hip hop, right? And you can still drop a classic body of work, but if only a handful of people even looking for it, right? That's just the facts, bro. Like, you can be great. Like, great doesn't mean you sell the most, right? But selling the most or selling, those numbers matter as far as, are you relevant, right? So at this age, I think he's about to be 50 this summer. I don't even think he cares to be relevant. If we're being perfectly honest, like we haven't heard Nas comment on this, but like if you ask Nas who's more relevant, you or 21 Savage, I think he would give you an honest opinion and say 21 Savage is way more relevant. He just dropped an album with the biggest fucking artist in the world for a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's even trying to be relevant. Dude, I think these last 3 bodies of work with King Disease, and I sprinkle Magic into these last 4 bodies of work, I think it's just him proving to modern day listeners and even his OG fans, they're like, bro, I can still make relevant music. Like, you can listen to it in 2022 and enjoy it. But if it's not charting on the fucking billboards, I don't give a fuck, right? Because he's a fucking multi-millionaire, bro. Yeah. Like, he's won for decades. So I don't even think he wants to be relevant. I think, dude, if you gave him an opportunity to just like release this to only 10 people to listen to, he also would be okay with that. So like, I think we're not even taking, like, no one's even asking, like, what would Nas say? I think Nas would agree with 21 Savage and like have no issues whatsoever with that statement because it's accurate, bro. Like, the masses aren't peeping for this, but you have to literally be like, I don't think people even know who Hit-Boy is outside of fucking hip hop, bro. Like, people outside of hip hop know who 21 Savage is, regardless of the Drake song for years now, bro. Like, his songs are catchy. Like, girls just know this shit, bro. Every girl knows a lot. Like, every girl knows that song. So like, it's just like, it's just a fact, bro. Like, if people can get butthurt and feel bad and yo, dude, I'm telling you, my New York City group chat, yo, my mans were ready to fucking ride to Atlanta and kill this man. And I'm just like, yo, I'm not getting involved here, but I don't think he's wrong. But I get why people get upset with that statement. But I think Nas would agree.
Yeah, he would. And if he doesn't, like, I would beg him to look in the mirror and realize how fucking successful, admired, and appreciated he is by actual people that give a shit about the genre. Like, I'm not talking about the casual girl that might listen to a couple of Drake songs and then go run over to Taylor Swift. I'm talking about like you and I. Like, he's solidified, even if we don't think his album is the best album of the year or whatever. Like, he's one of the GOATs, and we've already commented a million times how him and Hit-Boy are like fucking Batman and Robin.
Bro,
and,
different level.
Yeah, like, different it's amazing.
Level. Yeah,
it's
and
just
the fact
vibe.
that they're able to create beats that aren't like almost like the Circle Local, like not an odd, like I don't even hear a sample in the music. It just feels like original production, but bringing back like the essence of like the 90s. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing this? You know what I mean? For 3 albums straight doing that. Like, at some point you think it would just sound like repetitive and boring, and like every song is almost its own little movie. Like, dude, so well done. But again, it's like, dude, like, it's like the expensive bottle of wine that we find at a fucking wine bar in Oakland, right? There's probably a fucking $400 bottle that we've never heard of, but we know it's going to taste better, right? Or it does taste better. Or there's like a $25 bottle of something that everyone drinks. And it's like, yeah, dude, that one's more relevant because it's popular. But like, that's the better one. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone here thinks that Nas isn't better than 21 Savage rapping. Like, that's clear. You know what I mean? So like, it was weird to me. I'm like, bro, like, how are you mad about this? Like, it's fucking an accurate statement.
Right. And in general, like, we're in such a different era where relevance isn't even like really based on if your music's better. It's who's in, you know, showing their chain on social media and dating this girl and, you know, doing this club appearance and altercations and all this other shit that Nas obviously doesn't care about doing. And that, unfortunately, is going to prevent academics from giving a shit about posting something or whatever. Whereas when they did the fake Howard Stern thing and all these other things, it just adds to the effect of being spoon-fed to, you know, hip hop followers and things like that. So obviously that's going to make someone, you know, more popular, especially with the younger crowd, when they're seeing these guys on social media all the time.
Right. No, totally, dude. Yeah, I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure 21 has probably like what 5 times, 6 times the followers that Nas has. Like,
I think so. And I've seen him in so many interviews recently. I don't even think for this album, just in general.
Facts. Yeah, dude. Like, there was no rollout for KD3 besides him posting it. Like, bro, it's not a rollout. That's just like a fucking post. It might as well be at brunch. You know what I mean? Like, So yeah, it is what it is, bro. But it was just, I think 21 could have given more context. I totally agree. But it's also like, sometimes I feel like hip hop fans or like hip hop are just so quick to get offended by anything. Like, how dare you even utter this rapper's name? And it's like, bro, like, who cares? Like, it's accurate. But